All right, we are now recording.
Perfect. All right. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to today's Mayor Manager meeting for Wednesday, September 3rd. Online with me is Deputy City Clerk Andrina Prado, Executive Assistant Krista Gravy, Mayor Pro Tem Joe Anderson, Deputy City Manager Tim Dodd, and Deputy City Attorney Victoria McDermott. Tim, do you want to kick us off?
Sure, thank you, Mayor. So we have a study session coming up next week on Monday, September 8th. The first item is the study session on South Broadway. We do have here an hour and a half for presentation, but we finished it yesterday and we think we can do it in about an hour, if that would work for you.
That always works for me, Tim.
All right. Discussion could go long, but we have 30 minutes for discussion for that one.
Okay.
And then the next study session is an informational update on the ground lease termination agreement for the former Weingarten property and transfer of title to New Inglewood LLC. We have presentation an hour. We don't have a discussion time for that one yet.
I'm not sure if that discussion is really going to go an hour, though. The presentation. I'm thinking probably an hour and a half, maybe total. Even that seems a little long to me.
Okay, plug that in. And then the last one is state land use and housing law updates. This is an extension of the one from last week. And we have 25 minutes for presentation and 45 for discussion.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Okay.
Okay, so I think we'd be looking then at about 4 hours for that meeting.
Yeah, but I'm also thinking some of these I think are probably going longer, or we're saying they're going longer than they really are, especially the state land use. We covered the three big topics, it's the smaller ones now. So I'm not as concerned about the state land use item.
Okay. All right, great. So we'll move on then to the next regular meeting, which is September 15th. So we have two study sessions that evening. The first is the judge's salary, 15 minutes for presentation. And Mayor, do we want to hold off on discussion for that or do that now?
Uh, well, probably 15 and 15 would be my
Okay.
guess.
Great. And then we do have one other study session item, which is an update to the Inglewood Storm Drainage Criteria Manual and Code. And we have 10 minutes for the presentation and 10 for discussion.
All right, sounds good.
And then we have a recognition of the volunteers of the South Broadway Revitalization Strategy Groups. And then we get into motion. So the first one is utilities on-call water repair contract renewal. Would you like the question of whether that should be on consent or not?
Let's wait until next week after
Okay.
water sewer.
Okay, sounds good. And Andrina, would you mind scrolling down a bit? Thank you. And then the next one is also a motion, Parks and Rec bond contract approvals. Like to set that for consent or wait until next week as well?
Let's wait on that.
Okay. And then we also have a motion for service center and LM water treatment plant space improvements, construction contracts. We also have a motion for electrical instrumentation and control contract renewals. And then we have a bill for ordinance first reading, IGA for Green Business Program with the City of Sheridan. And then we also have a bill for ordinance first reading of partial termination of ground lease and conveyance of property agreement. Also an ordinance for first reading, acceptance of state grant of Victims Crime Act through the Colorado Division of Criminal Justice. Another first reading intergovernmental agreement with Arapahoe County accepted an open space grant in the amount of $500,000 for the Centennial Trail Enhancement Project. Also a bill for ordinance first reading, the first reading of the Chick-fil-A Planned Unit Development Amendment. And then after that, we have also on the 15th, before ordinance second reading, the CB 44 compliance agreement with Denver Water for the City of Inglewood's responsibility for emergency interconnection project. And also on the 15th, we have a public hearing on the 2026 proposed budget public hearing. And then we also have an executive session on the 15th for quarterly attorney-client privilege legal updates to discuss and answer legal questions and provide status updates and request direction on claims and litigation.
Okay. All right.
That's the 15th. And then we can go on to the next one. So September 22nd is a study session. I have a couple here. So the first is a draft proposed 2026 operating and capital budgets if further discussion is needed after the public hearing. We also have utilities strategic execution update, an update by the Greater Inglewood Chamber of Commerce, Sustainability Commission Native Lawn Certification Program, and August 2025 General Fund Monthly Financial Report.
All right, sounds good. And
And
we should
then,
to October. Yeah, let's just do the first two in October, and then we can call it from there.
great, sounds good. So yeah, first regular meeting in October is October 6th. And right now we just have two items. We have a resolution for ground lease agreement between Inglewood McClellan Reservoir Foundation and Page West Acquisitions for a vacant property near McClellan Reservoir, and the 2026 budget ordinance first reading. And then the first study session of October is October 13th. And we have one item right now, which is an update from the director of the Aurora South Metro Small Business Development.
Okay, perfect. Sounds good. Tim, did you take down the council request from last night?
I did, yeah. I recorded three, Mayor. So the first one I had was from Member Wright, which was which boards and commissions typically meet in December? Would it be possible for boards and commissions that meet in December to move up their meetings? Also, which boards and commissions meet during council's summer break? And the second one I recorded, I do need to go back and listen to the exact questions, but Member Russell asked questions relative to the financing of South Broadway Complete Streets, including the original grant funding and percentages. And then the last one I recorded as both what I would call an action item, but also the council request was from Member Russell about pedestrian lights being out on Oxford between Windermere and the Recreation Center.
Yeah, sounds good. I know that part of the member rights comments about South Broadway were about the invoices as well. So, but it sounds like Sean got that as well. So, okay, that's what I had. All right. Anything else from you, Tim?
No, Mayor.
Anything from staff?
Nothing on my end.
Mayor Pro Tem, are you there? Anything from you?
Yeah, nothing from me. Thanks.
All right, perfect. All right, with that, everyone, that concludes today's mayor manager meeting. Everyone have a great day.
Thank
Take care,
you.
everyone.
Thank
All right.
you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.